pretend it looks like you. You know, everybody
All
can
right.
tell you that.
You ready?
All right.
Here we go. All right, welcome in. It's Lobey, Lynchie and Friends with me, Hank Morse. It is the podcast live from George Gray's Lexington Toyota. That's how we really say it. It's 409 Mass Ave and where?
Lexington, Massachusetts.
That's right.
Can't miss it. We've
Lexington,
had the address wrong
Toyota.
a few times, but you can't miss it. And I'm having actually an alignment being done as we speak right
Really?
now. Rotated the
What
tires
part of your
last
body?
week. No, Sherry and the crew down there are taking
Oh,
care
the
of
car.
The car, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. The alignment of the body, that's beyond repair. But the car always comes out pristine when it's done and with a great service department.
Doesn't he need new brakes, George?
Yeah, we'll get some of those.
Not so.
No wonder George lets us do the show here. Every time I come in, road tire, he's
Standard
making money
operating
all the
procedure.
time every time we come in here.
Well,
By the way, we have to say thank you to great folks at Benjamin Moore and Modern Hardware, our new
Great.
sponsors. Outstanding. George David down at Modern Hardware on Salem Street in Medford.
who better than to consult on that subject than Mike and myself?
Correct.
Really. Anything you need.
I haven't picked up a paintbrush in 40 years.
Yes,
but
you did. Remember
I'm
the
only
portrait,
kidding.
you know, the number thing.
My house is painted with Benjamin Moore, inside and out.
No, you did the number thing. I remember that.
Yes, I did.
Yeah,
You look like a Bob Ross graduate.
that's true.
You know,
Okay, that's
nice
it.
puffy little cloud. By the way, I love that J-Lo sweatshirt you're wearing today. Did somebody send you that from the Super Bowl?
Listen, did you see the halftime show?
Who didn't?
Yeah, okay, I'm just saying.
Thumbs up. Did a great job. I mean, what a great to sing and dance like that and not be out of breath and be in the physical condition the two of them, J-Lo and Shakira, must have been in. I mean, I don't know how you're upside down. They're hanging from poles and singing. I mean, blood rushing to their head, cartwheels, mosh pit diving, and still able to like sing. And one of them actually played an instrument too afterwards. I mean, the breathless.
And of course, the whole Alex Rodriguez got his way in.
He did. He
In
was
a big way. I mean, he
a
was
lot.
standing outside her trailer.
The whole all day with the Fox reports.
Yeah, it was.
It was weird. They took a lot of heat for that, for like
From where?
the sexualization from the media, from the Twitter sphere, Instagram, because they thought it was like, oh, since when is the NFL really family friendly? You know, it's a pretty violent sport. You know,
Well, it was entertaining. I mean, that's what the halftime shows become. They certainly promoted it enough. Every other word was "Stay tuned to the Pepsi Cola halftime show." Blah blah blah.
Yep.
You know, so there. No,
Let's get to the real nugget of the Super Bowl.
no. That Harvard guy catches a touchdown. Big.
I almost had two. He was an inch shy of a second one.
How did I know you were going to bring?
But
it up?
that's not what I'm
You can't
bringing
even
up.
pronounce his name.
Kyle Juszczyk.
I see. It's not his
His
real
nickname
name.
is Juice. How's that? Call him Juice. That makes it easy.
Right, Harvard.
Well, how many Kent State guys were in that game?
I don't think a whole lot were.
Any
But
BU guys in the game?
Who was the
no BU
MVP
guys.
last
I'm just
year?
checking.
What-
It's been a
wait
long time since the BU guy
Was the
in-
guy?
Jim Jensen? Was he in
Jimmy
the
Jensen played for
was,
the Dolphins.
He wasn't the MVP.
Who? Juszczyk?
Yeah.
No, Mahomes was.
Then last year who was the MVP?
Tom Brady.
Touche to Bob Lobel on that one.
Should have been the punter.
That would have been Julian
You
Edelman.
want to hear? Yeah, that was last year.
Oh, Edelman was there, yeah.
Oh, that one. Yeah. Okay.
All right. I want to get to the
This-
real.
For those of you who haven't picked this up, we have this little Harvard-Kent State thing.
Two
Mr.
football
Harvard in the
college.
middle, Mr. Kent State from
Harvard.
Apple
How many
Creek,
guys
Ohio.
you got playing in the NFL? 9 guys.
I think they're 9 guys right now. Yeah.
Football factory.
It is. It is. Let's play this little thing here and tell me what your reaction was when you heard it and what now you've had a few days to think about it. And it's not working.
You know what? You are
Hold on.
what a marvel at electronics.
Did you go to school in Harvard out near Groton or Acton? That Harvard? Is that what you're talking about?
No, I just had it working.
Actually, the
Yeah,
university.
it's working.
And my fans.
All right, hold on. Here we
So
go.
we got
All right.
They say all good things must come to an end. So to my teammates, my family, and my fans, you deserve to hear this from me. Hulu doesn't just have live sports. According to the script they just gave me, Hulu also has
Hold
your
on.
favorite cable channels plus the greatest shows, movies, and originals of all time. So it's time to say goodbye to TV as you know it. But me? I'm not going anywhere.
All right, so there you go. What do you make of it?
Well, a line that just baffles me a little bit is that, according to the script they just gave me, I mean, why did he put that in there? I mean, just saying it just There's a little mystery around that line, but I mean, it was totally unnecessary to say that unless you had a reason behind it. And I can't.
Like somebody's telling me what to do?
Yeah, something like that. According to the script they just gave me. Okay, who cares about that? Whether you just got it or got it a week ago. According to the script they just gave me. It's like is he saying, I really haven't been in on this hoax the whole time. But he has, because he said it was fun. Remember, he talked to Mike Reese,
Yeah.
and he said it was really a lot of fun. So he was in on it the whole time. He knew what it was. It was a 4-week commercial. Just didn't know it was a commercial till the last 20 seconds.
So if you're a Patriots fan, are you relieved by that?
I think if Patriots fan want him to come back, I think that's.
Would you feel relieved?
Yes,
Would you-
I would feel.
So
I would
you're
feel relieved.
completely confident that he's staying,
Completely
and
confident,
not going anywhere
never.
else.
But you know what?
Despite the fact that Phillip Rivers is not going back to San Diego.
I understand there's a
And
lot of
all the obvious
lot of
reasons.
circumstances out there that would.
Now there are
beckon
reports.
him.
The reports that he has had conversations with the Raiders in Vegas.
Yeah, right. I believe that's true. I mean, how can you avoid it? The guy's in the room. It's a party. It's Vegas. Why wouldn't he have a
And then there were reports
conversation?
last week that Giselle was seen in Nashville looking at schools, and Tom was there. Although Tom was actually in Miami when he was supposed to be in Nashville, but Giselle allegedly was down in Tennessee and Nashville. So there's a
Well,
fit
what kind of
there.
schools do you think she's looking at?
She's looking at a private school.
Well, don't they have a daughter?
They do have a daughter,
Yeah.
but I will tell you that there is a personal, family reason why they moved to Greenwich, Connecticut. A personal family reason. I don't want to say any more than that because I don't want. But I know that for a fact.
Okay.
So they're now looking at schools for one of the boys, one of the two boys. Jack lives with Bridget in New York, and Benny is Dom and Giselle's son, along with Vivian. So, does this factor into Tom Brady's comfort level where he wants to be playing football the next couple of years? And will the Patriots come up with $30 million a year for 2 years to give Tom Brady, which a lot of other teams will do, starting with the Los Angeles Chargers, who need to fill seats because they're going to be in that same stadium with the Rams next year. And the Rams are to Los Angeles what the Dodgers are to Los Angeles in baseball, and the Chargers are to that area what the Angels are. And they need marketing, and they need a sell, and they need a big draw, and none is bigger and will make more of a splash than Tom Brady.
Well,
No, there was the NFL report. Ian Rappaport, right, came out and said, the New England Patriots are willing to pay Tom Brady $30 million a year. They didn't specify whether that was a 1-year deal or a 2-year deal, which you'd think he'd be looking for.
I think that what's his name would go out of his mind, Belichick, because it would just mess up the whole salary cap. It would mess up everything going on with what is planned down the road. Now there were guys that could come in and play. They could pick up Drew Brees. They could pick up Cam Newton. They could pick up who else? Eli Manning.
Well, he's not that far removed from.
So in other words, what I'm
Alex
asking,
Smith might come back.
what I'm asking here, should the discussion of will Tom stay or go, is that discussion moot now because of this commercial? I'm not going anywhere. Does that mean I'm not going anywhere out of New England? It was filmed at
Well, I
Gillette
was feeling
Stadium.
pretty good about it till I met you this morning, and now I feel like.
Well, that's my job, to ruin your day as
You just did.
often as I can.
It's okay. I just thought I had it.
I wish I was better at it, like 30, 40 years ago, but I'm doing my best right now to make up for
I know.
lost time.
You're right. It's fine. It's just.
There were a couple of different interpretations. On a national level,
Yeah.
it seemed to be, okay, Tom Brady isn't going to retire. On the local level,
No, I didn't see
people
that at
seem
all.
to. Oh, I did. If you read.
All right,
you go on
how
Twitter-
about the still picture came out before the video ran in the Super Bowl of him walking out, and there was a tunnel at the end, and it was like going to a museum looking at a painting. The three of us could look at the same painting on the wall and see 3 different things, 3 different interpretations.
Possible, yeah.
So before you saw it, he's in the tunnel. There's a brightness on the field. Is it the light at the end of the tunnel? Is it the end of the road? I'm walking out of here. I'm taking a look at Gillette Stadium for the last time. Those are all the things that went through the minds of New England sports fans. And then, according to you, Robert Lobel, now all those fears were allayed and everyone was pacified when he said, as for me, I'm not going anywhere.
Isn't that the job of a sportscaster in New England, the great pacifier? People are, so
They do.
upset about their sports teams. It's our job to calm them down and say, well, why can't we get players
Well,
like that?
that's a great line. Somebody used that one time.
It just caught
It was
on. I don't know.
pretty good. It was a pretty good line.
I can tell you what, it was some wise ass on television saying when Lou Gorman traded the first baseman, the Hall of Famer.
Yeah, so
Jeff Bagwell?
Bagwell,
yeah.
thank you.
For Larry Anderson.
You think the two guys that did sports could remember his name, but no.
Well, I was watching you guys at the time. I was
That's
just a
true.
kid.
Okay, right. Up yours.
Yeah, I think it's 75-25 that Brady's staying as opposed, but you don't put the odds that
I
strong.
think it's no.
I'm
I
50-50 still. I'm 50-50.
I think he looked at that picture and he had his coat on. If you didn't see he had his coat on, you wouldn't think he was leaving the stadium.
There we go. See, now we're seeing something else. He's
You know
got
what?
a
I said
coat
he had his
on.
coat on, so what difference does
This
it
is
make?
like the Beatles with the Abbey Road album. You know, when
understand.
Paul
What
spotted a
difference
step
is
with everyone going on the crosswalk, going across the road. I don't think this thing
Well,
is
maybe
over.
the Hulu sponsor guy sold him on the Abbey Road thing. He said, look what it did for the Beatles.
Well, the still picture was very cryptic, and then all the interpretations.
Well, what
were
did you think
cryptic.
the still picture showed?
I don't know. It could be. There's a light.
What
at the,
did you think?
The end of my career is here. I can see it. The light is at the end of the tunnel. I've got 1 or 2 more years, or it's over, and I'm out of here. I'm going to take one final look at Gillette Stadium at this field before I turn around and walk out of the tunnel and
So
get my
you're
car and
telling
go.
me you saw all these things.
I did. Without.
So you
any-
came in to no conclusion.
Like the great Karnak over here.
No, I mean, I tweeted it the minute it happened. I rewound the TV and I took a picture of it and I just said, interesting. Tom Brady says I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not leaving the NFL or I'm not leaving New England.
Why would he leave the NFL? No, I think he's not going anywhere. Why else
No,
would
he's
you?
still-
You know
he's-
that? No, I don't think you would even go say that if you weren't absolutely truthful about it, because of all the fuss you'd be creating by turning that into a lie. You wouldn't want. You couldn't do that. You couldn't. There's not many lines that are clever enough that you could save that line if you weren't serious about not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. So he goes somewhere, and then everybody will say, "Well, he just lied to me." He's not going to do that.
Why did he say all good things must come to an end?
It's a little tickle. It's a little tickle.
Why
He
did
knows.
why did he say that before?
Well, let
He
me
said,
think
as
of-
for me, I'm not going anywhere. Why did he say that? Now, if he said that he had license on the script to say,
The script they just handed
the
me?
script they just handed me, well, then does he have license to correct that as well? Usually you don't when you do a commercial. You have to read whatever the sponsor wants you to read, right?
Yeah, that's a little baffling. But all those 3 things, okay, there are 3 things in there that you can genuinely question. The one you just read, all good things must come to an end. Number 2, which was, I even forget what it was.
Light at the end of the
The
tunnel?
light at the end of the tunnel. And number 3 is, I'm not going anywhere. Those are they contradictory lies? I don't think so.
I
think
say all good things must come to an end. So to my teammates,
I'm gonna
my
cry.
family, and my fans,
One more time for you,
Stop
boss.
it.
from me. Hulu doesn't just have live sports.
Stop it, Tom.
According to the script they just gave me,
Um,
Hulu also has your favorite cable channels plus the greatest shows, movies, and originals of all time. So it's time to say goodbye to TV as you know it. But me, I'm not going anywhere.
Okay?
I think he might look at this and think, listen, everybody says, all the experts say what they're going to say, but it really doesn't matter.
Well,
because I'm the only one that knows.
I had it all in place. I was very comfortable with it. And now everything's just jumbled up.
Well, that's our job here,
I
to make
just don't know.
people think.
Think.
You think Bob Kraft and Jonathan sat around after the game and said, what was he talking about? You think they knew, honestly? You think they know all this?
Yes. I think they've had conversations. They've had conversations about the $30 million. Blah, blah, blah.
And there's disagreement within that Patriots camp. Bill Belichick does not want to mess up his salary cap with $30 million, $60 million
still-
2-year deal for Tom Brady. Now he knows. Now both of those guys would very much like to prove they could win a Super Bowl without the other. Belichick and Brady. They've done it 6
I think
times.
that's their
They've
life
been to
mission
9.
right now.
No, I think it's something that they it's a little stain, a little asterisk that's there. Well, they neither one of them. They were a great pair, and but what would have happened if they didn't have each other? Could
I
Belichick
think-
win without Brady, and could Brady win it without Belichick?
Can I ask you something?
Sure.
Don't you find it more interesting to ponder why he traded Garofalo for a number 2 pick? Don't you think that's a much more fascinating question than will Tom be back?
No, I know why he traded Garoppolo for a number 2 pick.
Why?
But
To block Brady from going to San Francisco.
No, that's what you say, and I disagree
said
with
it's-
I disagree with you. He did it because Robert Kraft did not want to be the guy that traded Drew Bledsoe and traded Tom Brady, and it bothered him immensely. And Tom Brady was stewing all that whole off season, all the way through August, when a good friend of his told me at a golf tournament, Tom is fearful and is convinced Belichick's going to trade him at the end of this season, 2017, and they get rid of all the other backup quarterbacks except Garoppolo. Now we come to October 31st, the trading deadline, and Brady's in at Kraft's office, and he said, look, I've taken pay cuts, I've restructured my contract, and, I'm not going to just play this season.
Is this a fantasy thing?
No,
here?
this is not. So Kraft went into Belichick's office and said, you're not trading Tom Brady, you got to trade Garoppolo. And Belichick went through the roof and said, I got about 3 hours before the trading deadline. I have no leverage whatsoever. And so the best deal he could get was with John Lynch for a second round.
According
pick.
to the timing, which sounds to me like you're not synced up with the right timing, Lynch got a call at 5 o'clock in the morning, West Coast time. He had a text from Belichick, 5 o'clock in the morning, and it said, call me when you get to work. And that's how the trade went down. So it wasn't
But it was the trading deadline.
No, you said it was like how many hours?
What was the trading deadline was 4 o'clock.
The day of.
3 o'clock or 4 o'clock, October 31st.
So what happens to the fact that the Cleveland was supposedly so upset because they had a 12th round
Well, they
pick,
probably
12th
had a
pick
better,
in the first round?
I think anybody would have had a better offer.
Well, they
in
were
the
looking.
second
The
round.
Cleveland was making the phone conversations during training camp in August. This is October, once the season started, and there was concern that Tom Brady was 40 years old and was his performance. Belichick was really worried about. Now, Brady had 2 spectacular seasons and went to 2 straight Super Bowls during those 2 seasons that they traded away Jimmy Garoppolo. And that gave the Patriots, okay, good, I'm glad we might have made the right decision for the next 2 years, but for the next 10 years down the road, Belichick, without fail, would rather have Jimmy Garoppolo starting today, February, the first week in February 2020.
Wait, don't answer that because I really know that your answer is, it's ridiculous, but I know what your answer is going to be. Would you'd go against Belichick and say, I'd rather have Brady than Garoppolo right now, with Brady in his 21st year versus Garoppolo in his 4th season.
Right now, the first week in February 2020, who would I rather have?
I know what you're going to say. You're going to justify it by giving me these ridiculous dates.
Because people are listening to this show and they're going to say, when did Lynchie say that? So I'm saying right now, Belichick would rather have Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Right now.
Yeah. So
I
you
agree
would too.
1,000%.
Oh my God.
Even after his
I was
performance
wrong.
in the fourth quarter?
I apologize.
And
I was wrong.
and I think
I talked you out of it.
And I think Belichick would rather have had Jimmy Garoppolo the last season as well. Brady would have played the 2017 season. Then he would have been traded. So Garoppolo
Why
would have
did he
played.
trade him then?
Because Kraft told him to.
Well, shame on Kraft for
Kraft
getting a second round pick.
Kraft went in.
Don't you think so?
Well,
Shame
okay. Well, the day of the trading deadline, you don't have a lot of options and a lot of leverage. You got to take your best
then
offer.
shame on him for taking it right down to the deadline.
Shame
on both of them.
It's like coming in with a car with 2 flat tires and water pump's gone.
Well, George Gray's right there. I'll fix your car.
409 Mass Ave, by the way.
I'll give you
Lexington
500
Toyota.
for it. 500 for it. The book value says it's worth 2,000. No, not without a water pump that's gone and a blown rear axle.
How about his brakes, George? Don't you think they need to be fixed?
In the fourth quarter of this game
$400
against Kansas City, if you were San Francisco, do you think they'd rather have Tom Brady right now?
No.
No? I mean, he wilted. Garoppolo wilted under the big lights, the big pressure.
It's not that he wilted so much; it's Mahomes stepped up. There's something.
24-20, you got a chance to win it.
All right.
3-0.
Talk to Shanahan about the way he managed the end of the first half. That's where you lost the game. A minute 50 seconds you had to play with, and you just squandered it.
Tom Brady would have found a way to get a first
There's
down.
no question.
No matter what play was called.
No, of course, I agree with you.
No matter what play was called.
I agree with you. They're experts at that.
Yeah.
Especially they're going to get the kickoff. That's the Patriots going to get the kickoff at the second half. They'd have found a way to put points up on the board in a minute and a half with 3 timeouts. Come on, that's where Shanahan lost the game.
Stopped going to the Harvard guy. First of all,
brother, what did you?
Well, he scored one touchdown, and another one he was stopped one inch from the.
Right. Harvard guy.
But if Tom Brady was in a 49ers uniform, that might have been a different outcome of that game in the fourth quarter.
Jimmy G's stock dropped.
I'm the Harvard guy. Where did he come from? High school? Where did he go to school?
Who? Juszczyk?
Yeah, whatever.
The
his
Harvard
name
guy?
is. Yeah.
I don't know.
Czechoslovakia?
No.
Was he with him?
I don't know. I can look it up.
Giuliani's henchman? Well, you don't know where he went to high school.
I don't know where he was.
He's not Ukrainian either, Bob.
Juszczyk.
Yeah. No, I don't even know how to spell it. So
See, there you know, so don't bring it up.
I can't even
it's
Google it.
H-A-R-V-A-R-D.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
7 letters. How can you screw it up, Lynchie?
It's
Swampscott, much
Juszczyk.
much more difficult to spell.
Ask your phone. I'll quote that
You
stupid
know, whenever
phone.
the Harvard and
No, I'm gonna
Kent State
ask-
talk, how about Boston University and their 5-4 double overtime win in the Bean
It's
Pot
exciting, Hank. Thank
against
you very much.
Boston College? Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Hang on just a
I
second.
just got it. It's Juscc.
Where did, excuse me, sorry. Hang on. Sorry, where did Juszczyk from Harvard go to high school?
Medina, Ohio.
Really?
You do this every show. You call Siri, and Siri's on a coffee break, and Siri hasn't come through in the
Did I
show
tell you
once.
something about Medina, Ohio?
I'm just saying, Medina. He's born in Medina, Ohio.
Did I tell you something about Medina,
High
Ohio?
school.
That's not where the great country club is it?
He went to Cloverleaf
I know where that school is.
in Lodi, Ohio.
Lodi.
Lodi?
Not Lodi. Lodi. Okay.
You're the Apple
That-
Creek, Ohio guy.
I am.
You
In
are.
Medina,
I
I
defer
got-
all Ohio questions to you.
I'm going to tell you something about
So that's where
Medina,
you went.
Ohio. I took a girlfriend to a Cleveland Browns game back when the world was flat. I'm sorry.
That
Sorry.
didn't come out.
You know, he's looking
No,
right at me.
come-
He goes, "Oh, when the world was fat."
Shut
No,
up,
that's
man.
not right. That's Freudian. You were a psychology major too.
Anyway, we're coming home from the game, and I passed this car going down on this road from Medina down to Worcester, and I passed the car, and the car coming the other way sped up, so it was a near head-on collision. And that's when he put the flashing lights on. The car was coming near, it was state patrol.
Really?
Yeah, stopped me, and I got stopped for passing without assured clear distance. And I had to come back, pay my bill, saying, I said, with my father present in Medina court, how lucky I was it was a state trooper in the other car because he knew how to handle that emergency situation. Is that a pretty good line?
Did you ever go out with the girl again?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
If you were dating any of the Mennonites, you would have been in a wagon. You wouldn't get stopped.
Shut up.
All right,
I know,
so now
yeah,
we've
Mary
been down that
Beth Stein, maybe
tributary.
she's
Let's
listening.
get back on track here, okay? So
I'm sorry.
Lodi, Ohio is where it is.
Lodi, good one, yeah.
Okay, Cloverleaf, is that the name of the high school?
Cloverleaf, yes.
Cloverleaf, okay.
How could Kent State let a guy like that get away?
And how's Siri doing, by the way? Have you heard back from her yet?
I'm trying to, what was it?
She's,
What do I want?
I don't know, but Siri is like not part of this show.
No, she's not, because my mother's name is, what business is it of yours?
One show he asked Siri who was the
Could you please repeat what you said?
he named the Bruins coaches, and Siri came back and said John Wooden. They thought he was talking about UCLA, and they started naming all the basketball coaches at UCLA. Siri, have you found Siri yet?
Yeah, and I'm leaving her, I'm shutting her down.
Yeah, Siri. Leave her where you left the girl from Lodi.
Hey
Ohio.
Siri, can you ask Bob Lobel to get a new phone?
One moment.
That's, I bet her actually snap at me.
She just denied knowing you.
All right, let's move off the Super Bowl. Mookie Betts.
What's the question? Who's gonna be around here longer, Brady or Betts?
I don't know. Do they have to trade him?
Mookie?
Yeah,
I think so.
I think so too. You can't let him play and walk,
Disgusting.
right?
You give the guy $27 million.
Yeah, it's not
Brady
enough.
gets 30.
Is he the best
You
five-tool
know what?
player the Red Sox have ever had? Pure
You
five-tool.
know what? We haven't seen them all. We haven't. It's a different game. They do this. They do the stupid. What do you call them? Shifts. That ought to be outlawed. Shifts.
Oh, stop with the shifts for crying out loud.
Don't you think they ought to get rid of the
No. It's an innovative part of baseball. That's a game that needs a lot of things
Makes
to get
it
a lot
more
of.
boring.
Huh?
Makes it much more
You
boring.
see some great catches sometimes.
Well, sometimes you do, sometimes you don't.
And sometimes this guy looks like
never seen any great catches before.
No, but you see
Willie
more of it.
Mays over the
It's
shoulder
like
on Vic Wirtz.
It's like shortstop. When you play softball.
Yeah, the short fielder.
The short fielder. Yeah.
Who's a better player, Xander Bogaerts or Mookie Betts?
Right now, I would rather have Xander Bogaerts.
I agree.
Aaron Bogarts. I mean,
I totally
the
agree.
shortstop
I think
is a much more.
They lost him. That's a problem.
Well, one of the problems why they can't pay Betts is because they paid Bogarts, they paid Price, they paid Chris Sale,
Evaldi.
Evaldi they gave $68 million to, and they laid out a lot of money, and they tried to get Betts, well before, they tried to get him before the 19 season started, at the end of the 18 season when they won the World Series. And Betts, when Betts last winter saw Manny Machado and saw Bryce Harper getting those $400 million contracts, right then and there, he said, I'm not committing to anything until I hit free agency.
Well,
And
you can't blame him.
of course you can't. This is, we get a one opportunity. But the Red Sox have been dealing with this for a long, long time. With guys like Fred Lynn and Carlton Fisk and Rick Burleson and Wade Boggs and Roger Clemens and Johnny Damon and Jacoby Ellsbury. I mean, guys that just took the money, big players who contributed to the Red Sox, and they survived. I mean, they still have a pretty good outfield out there. They've got Jackie Bradley Jr., who's an offensive liability, but a great defensive player. Benintendi, I think he's going to be an pretty good player.
I love him. I just, I hate to see him go.
Yeah.
But on the other hand,
Now you got to get somebody to come in and play right field.
No, but do you blame Dombrowski because of the signing of
Maybe.
Evaldi, Price, Sale?
Maybe the price thing was that was a big deal. $231 million. For
31 million a year.
Yeah, for over 7 years. That's a
they'll
lot of
send
money.
Price with Betts.
And Sale, after they signed, he went on the DL like the year they won it. in
Dombrowski
18.
has some of it, but so does the guy before him.
Who? Ben Cherington?
Yeah, went to Harvard.
No, he didn't.
He didn't go?
No, he went to Amherst.
Oh, step up.
Couldn't get in.
Couldn't get in. Okay.
Had to go to Amherst.
That was a good one. Okay,
Same place as
I got it.
Dan Duquette
Yeah. Yeah.
and Mark Manning. Went to was on
great.
the same team with him.
Right.
How about that?
How about that? It's
Dave
right.
Jost.
Now there's a guy that I thought would be a manager somewhere. It's Dave Jost, a great guy. Where is he? He's I don't know.
I don't know where he's
Coast.
disappeared
No,
to.
No, you want me to ask Siri?
Siri should get back to you by the time.
No, just
by the
go ahead,
time
keep
the
talking.
baseball
Who thought that the Red Sox, that the equipment truck would already be down there and they wouldn't even know who the manager is? I mean, when is that coming along? Pitchers and catchers report on the 12th.
That's right.
Why do they need a manager to start the spring training? Everybody knows what they're going to do. They take an opening day lap and they go in and rest. That's that's the extent of their conditioning.
They have meetings. They have many.
So I mean, you need a manager for that.
Yeah, they do. They do need a manager for that. But you need.
Siri, where is Dave Joust playing Major League Baseball now?
He's not. He's.
I'm sorry.
So
I found this on the web.
What?
This is.
I'm sorry. Forget it. Oh, it's a Dave Winfield.
Why don't you go get a couple Campbell's tomato soup cans and get a string?
I'm sorry. I apologize. I won't do that again.
Connect it with Siri.
I won't do it again. Okay?
Hey
Because
Siri, can you
it'll
tell
be-
Bob to
it'll
put
be
the
as-
phone down?
It'll be as productive as Siri has
Your
been.
message to Bob Duraney says put the phone down.
That's,
Ready to send it?
no, don't send it to Bob Duraney.
So I asked Chaim at the baseball writers' dinner. We had a little round table up on the stage. Now the day before at the press conference, they were pretty non-committal, but he was pretty relaxed and pretty open. He sat there with Sam Kennedy. I said, would you, under any circumstances, would you possibly consider going to spring training without a manager or an interim manager until the Major League Baseball investigation is complete? He said, absolutely, positively, no. We will not open spring training without a manager. So there's a manager coming soon, and there could be a trade coming soon. And spring training could be that this is going to be one of those spring
What's
trainings.
that guy, that Uhuera? Who's the guy that they were interviewing from San Diego?
Oh, for the managerial job?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they probably got their guy. They just haven't announced it.
I hope they look at a guy like Sam Fuld, the guy.
Yeah, I remember from New Hampshire.
Yeah, played for Chaim down in Tampa Bay a little bit. Played a little bit with the Twins.
I think too
in
young.
Oakland A's.
Too young at this.
Doesn't
under
have any
this
experience. You
circumstance.
got to have a guy that's got experience.
I think so. And here you do.
Do you?
I think so.
Alex Cora didn't have any experience.
Yes, he did.
He was a bench coach.
Yeah, but he stole signs in Houston, so it made it right.
He managed.
So,
He
no,
managed.
that's
He managed the winter ball.
Question
Go ahead.
on the sign stealing
Yes.
and the Red Sox.
Yes.
This is done. They're not going to find anything.
You keep saying that.
Well,
How do you
why
know?
haven't they? Why wouldn't that be the prudent thing for Major League Baseball before spring training starts to close the books on the 2018
Well, if they didn't find
Red
anything,
Sox,
they didn't find
17
anything. They
Red Sox?
might be done by now. The longer this goes, it tells me they're interviewing more people, and the investigation is lingering.
MLB
Longer-
took 18 months in
longer-
the investigation to the Astros.
Longer it goes, it tells me that they can't find anything that happened, so they're interviewing more people.
You watch too many Perry Mason shows and
Really? That's a Perry Mason show?
Too many CI.
Why
things.
else would you have
If
interviewed?
someone goes, well, if the jury's out a long time, that's a good sign for us.
If
They
you
come to an
get
agreement.
the information you want, why do you need to go everywhere else and try to find it?
Said, you know what they said? Well, you know what? Really, said that's Bob Lobel. He was there. Really? Then they go to Bob Lobel. They said, ask Hank Morris. Hank was there. Hank knows it. And Hank will say, you know what? You know who even knows more than I know? Ask Mike Lynch. He knows. And they
Hey, he
say,
went to Harvard.
to
He would
Harvard.
know.
ask George Gray. He knows. Ask Sean
Brought his
Gray.
own
He
trash
knows.
can. Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead. You don't need permission to ask me a question.
I kind of do sometimes.
Can you ask Siri where I can watch
You
Perry
just-
Mason later
can I-
on?
I'm sorry.
love that show.
Siri's
Right
off
out,
the show.
Hank.
Okay, she's gone.
Thank you.
Bye, Siri.
Yeah, not again today. You and I are going to be speaking together at a
Yes.
thing in Framingham, and I think we should do that more often. We should let people know that you and I will now, since we moved on to a different stage in our careers, do speeches together. How do you think about that?
This will not be the Lincoln Douglas debate. I
No?
can tell you that.
Does that mean you're all for it?
I'm all for it. Yes.
So what are you speaking in Framingham? What are you going to be
I
talking
don't know
about?
what the question is.
Any
We're-
people?
We're speaking to the Depositors Insurance Fund
See, they'll be-
annual meeting at the Sheridan Tower
Right.
in Framingham. I've done it a couple of years, and obviously I didn't make too good an impression because the guy Dave Elliott said, "Can you ask Bob Lobel if he'd like to
well,
come?"
why do you think? Why do you take a shot at me like that for? Like all of a sudden you didn't do such a good job, so they brought in reinforcements.
No, I was.
You did
I was complimenting you.
Hey, did that sound like a
I was.
compliment?
I was.
It's not- sounded
Hank, he
like-
said, I obviously didn't do a good job, so they asked Lobel to come in. Didn't he just say that?
Yes, I did, but that I was being self-deprecating.
Then why did it hurt so much?
I said maybe I did that. Maybe they think I did a good job.
Okay.
Enough. I need a little. I need a
You know what?
supporting cast.
No, I was thrilled that you asked me out,
Yes.
and I.
Seems to me like he was looking for an opener, like kind of a comedian, you know? You get somebody
Yeah,
to
well,
open
You know what?
and
Maybe it seems that to you.
do
but
5 minutes.
Yeah, thanks, Hank, for that
You know.
contribution.
So-
You know what?
What?
I think this is a thing we should explore and
Speaking
and promote.
engagements?
Yes,
Sure.
I mean I think this would be entertaining and
Beats
informative.
beats playing the guitar down the subway station, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah. I can never move the cup fast enough.
All right. So
All right.
so Patriots. We're done with the Patriots. They're on to next year.
Belichick, I think he liked going to the game. You think he? How would he criticize the game? You think he criticized Shanahan? He loved Shanahan. Think he criticized Shanahan for the last 2 minutes of the first half?
He probably would. Yeah.
Yeah.
He did have one of the great moves of all time
With the hand. With
when he
Belichick.
flashed the rings when
The
they started
rings.
to boo
It
him.
was. That was. You know what? I had to wonder about how that played in America.
I don't think that played well at all.
No, I
I
don't
think
either.
Well, they were booing him when they introduced
Yes,
him. Well, of
yes.
course they were,
And
because
they
it's
booed him
Miami.
and he said,
and
"Here's
it's-
the rings."
But you know, I didn't see.
Good one, Hank.
I didn't see anybody. I didn't see Joe Montana flashing rings. I didn't see, Terry Bradshaw flashing 4 rings. Yeah, that kind of surprised me.
Did me too.
Yeah, that
But,
surprised me.
maybe he got a little of that rebel when he went to Gronkowski's beach party. Maybe he just went over the deep end, and maybe Brady said, Bill, I think you ought to flash your rings. I can't do it, but I think you should.
I mean, to pack those things you need another suitcase. They're
He's got
big.
6 with the 2 of the Giants. No, he's got 2 of the Giants and 6 here, so
6
he's got
here.
8.
He's got 8 winning rings. I mean, you get a ring too if you lose. So he's
But
been,
he didn't have 8 rings on.
No, I think he had like
3.
were there 3?
I think there were 3.
Yeah.
No, take a look at the tape. He had 5.
You want my glasses?
He had
Why don't you
5.
ask Siri if we
I thought you told.
On that note, I think we should wrap up right there.
Okay.
Okay.
All right?
Yes, Hank.
Yes.
It's Lobey, Lynchie and Friends with Hank Morse. If you'd like, Bob, give out your cell phone number in case anybody wants to call you to speak.
That's crazy.
Maybe they just need somebody to talk to.
617.
You can follow us on Facebook,
No.
Twitter, Instagram.
925.
Find us at Apple, iTunes, and Spotify. Taylor Viles, thank you, doing a great job producing. George Gray's Lexington Toyota.
Give him your
and
number, Hank.
Taylor's lying on the couch with his cell phone.
Yeah.
Okay, he set
He's
up the
texting
camera.
his girlfriend.
He set up the camera, and he's lying on the couch. This is great. Call now. He is tired because His winter break just started December 14th. He went back to school January 22nd. So he's been back at school for about 10 days. He's exhausted. So he deserves to be that grueling college life that you have.
My
So
grandson's
he's-
podcast, by the way, or hockey, club hockey, I checked on the Syracuse. They're not in the schedule with
You told me that
your
last
nephew, yeah.
Yeah.
But they want all the publicity. I said, well, if you can work out the fact that they play each other sometime, you'll get plenty of
Yeah,
publicity.
they will.
Jennings Lobel.
Yeah, we will go to the game and do the podcast from the
We
game.
will do the podcast from the game. Syracuse they have a great social, well, it's a communication school, so they get great social
Syracuse.
media and guys do play-by-play
I
of the
think
game.
life would have been different for you if you went to a communication school.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, we didn't have it at Harvard.
I don't want to comment on that. There's so many things I could say at this moment.
You know who else? You know who was 3 years ahead of me at Harvard? He played in the basketball team. James Brown, CBS. JB.
Really?
Yep. He was on the basketball team. He was. I might have been a senior when I was a sophomore. He was at least 2 years ahead of me.
Name dropper, but a good one.
JB.
I think if Lynchie went to Syracuse, he probably wouldn't need you on that Thursday night out in Framingham, maybe. That's just me.
You put the guitar away. Scoop up. Everyone need all the change. I
Good,
scoop up.
good one. You guys are
All right, see you, folks.
You're firing hard now.
Yeah.